So for this video, I'm just going to cover Revolve. Okay, so Revolve shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to make just a basic shape. I think the trick with using Revolve is just figuring out when you should do it. But hopefully after this video, you'll realize the stuff that you need to do. So I made just a basic thing that I'm going to go to. Then I finish my sketch, extrude, Revolve. I select this, specify my vector that I want it to go around. Want it around the y-axis, specify the point that I want it to go also around. I should just be able to select from list, existing point, and there we go. So what I selected was the origin, okay? And now I have the shape. The start angle is usually going to be at 0. You can change that if you want, so you can make the start angle something else through either here or here. And that's pretty much it to just getting it. It's just noticing what you have to see. So really, you see how this disc shape. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, well, I can probably just go into a sketch, make a circle, make another circle, and just extrude that. Oh, it's at intersect. Make that, and then I can just clean it up later. That works for basic shapes like this, that you can just do something like that. However, if you had to sketch something that looked like, well, let me go ahead and hide these. So that way this sketch is open on its own. If you had something like this, that would be a little harder to do in 3D, right? Like just make a 2D sketch. Sure, you can extrude and then get the offset, but that'd be a lot harder than just making this 2D slice and revolving it. Okay? Now you notice how all of these revolves have this hole that I've been doing. That's because I've been revolving them around an axis that isn't connected to the shape. So if I wanted it to be one whole thing, what I can do is, I'm just going to ignore the auto dimensions for now. I can specify this vector to be a line on there, and now its center point is part of the original shape. So you see how it's revolving around its own axis. So it's going around. Let's see if I can't rotate this a little bit. Let's put this back here. So it takes that little, yeah, that's what I was afraid would happen. Let's get it like that. I want this, yeah. So it's taking that 2D slice, so that little rectangle, and it's revolving it around this edge, the edge that we selected. If we want it to go around another one, I can select this edge, and now it's going around it like that. Okay, you see how it's this edge right there, this line? Well, I think in this case, the center, the one, yeah, this line right here. That's a good showing. So whenever we select this line, it's going around that. Okay, so that's for this axis and this axis pretty much. What happens if you select Z? You notice how it just kind of disappears? That's because there's nothing for this to rotate. This shape doesn't make sense. So you have to stick out like your fingers and imagine your sketch circling around that. Okay? Hope I'm making sense when I say that. So now we go back here, revolve, and since I'm going to select my vector to be the y-axis, you notice how I don't have to select a point anymore. The reason that I didn't have to select a point was because I selected the y-axis, so obviously the point is the origin. The other case is when I specify this vector, obviously the point is the center of that line. Okay? If you were to do something really weird, then you would have to go ahead and put the point. I highly doubt you'll ever have to for this class. It's pretty much just selecting y-axis or the line of that shape. Now we go to the y-axis, and you see, give me the purple. There. You see it's revolving around the y-axis. Okay, that's where that hole comes from. So you don't have to go and make a sketch on top of here and subtract. Now, I think what a lot of people are struggling with is realizing when to use revolve. So I'll give a very big hint right now. If I ever give a shape that's something like this, really any variation of this, I'm just eyeballing something so I can get a shape. Okay? If I get something like that, and then I revolve it, yeah, it'll come out weird. Something like this, where it's circular, 9 times out of 10, I expect you to use revolve. Okay? So don't get tricked whenever I do this. And then I say, make the shape, right? When I say the cross-sectional area is not indicative of the entire shape. Okay, that's a very big hint. You see. So if it's circular, it's probably going to be a revolve. All right, I will almost exclusively save extrusions for like more rectangular shapes. So anything like a circle is gonna stick with revolve. Okay. Hopefully that helps solve any of the questions. I tried to be as helpful as I could, but yeah, it's pretty much just following the toolkit. Okay. Leave any questions in the comments if this still didn't help, and I'll try to address them. And if I left too many out, I can make an addendum video.